Words uttered in Ramallah by President Bush.
Look, the UN deal didn't work in the past.
That stung here at UN headquarters. The Secretary-General's spokesperson clearly irritated.
We stand by the UN resolutions taken in the past. And we have been calling for a number of things concerning the Middle Eastern issue, and this is continuing.
While Mr. Bush is calling on the Palestinians to ignore UN resolutions, over the years, Israel has ignored several critical resolutions regarding the Palestinians. Among them, Resolution 242, that calls for the withdrawal of Israeli armed forces from territories occupied in the 1967 war. Resolution 194, that says Palestinian refugees wishing to return to their homes and live in peace with their neighbours should be permitted to do so. And Resolution 446, which says that Israeli settlements in occupied territories have no legal validity. In fact, virtually every measure to come before the UN involving Israel, especially the Security Council, has been vetoed by its ally on the Council, permanent member, the United States.
The proper question that should be raised, who is responsible for not allowing the UN to implement its resolutions?
Who is that?
I think you know exactly who is that. And I don't need to name names. It's obvious.
President Bush is accused of operating a double standard, welcoming UN help when resolutions suit US allies, but rejecting it when they don't, such as with the US's closest ally in the Middle East, Israel.
Obviously, some UN Security Council resolutions, particularly involving Iraq, have been sacrosanct and followed up by warfare, whereas others have been let slide for decades. And that's a fact. There is a double standard in the world because there are power asymmetries in the world.
President Bush has said he thinks a Middle East peace settlement will be signed by the time he leaves office in a year, but his critics say he can't have it both ways. The US must spend this year pushing for a fair and equitable deal for both sides. John Terrett, Al Jazeera, the United Nations, New York.